Okay. 1 second.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put billions of my people. Yes, you said Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slump. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mass shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Hey, Shalom Israel. There's an Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Johnny Yohana. And since 1969, we have bringing the We have been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives that they are the true Israelites of the Bible. With that being said, um, today is the Isupk Southern Illinois history class. I'm your teacher today, Officer of 500 Azan Yala. Pleasure to be with y'all today. I have a video that I'm about to show. A lot of people don't understand that. Everybody sees basically the so-called blacks, how they went into slavery and stuff, and how horrible it was and everything and that. And that's great. You know what I'm saying? That's great that we can see that and we can see exactly how horrible our oppressors were to us at that time. But when we go a little bit further, back, we got to acknowledge that, Hispanics were enslaved too in the late 1400s to the early 1500s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no matter what we know about the so-called black man, we also got to, since we as Hispanics acknowledge, what they've been through, we also as a nation have to acknowledge what the Hispanics have been through. And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to grasp, because at that particular time in the late 1400s to early 1500s, it's there was no technology. There was no pictures, you know what I'm saying? No photographs. Everything was either by you had to read it, or you had to come across it throughout literature, or you had to read somebody's personal accounts. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I don't want nobody ever to forget that the so-called the North Americans, South Americans, and the Caribbeans, how much oppression that we upheld, before any technology ever existed. I don't want nobody to lose track of that, because imagine how horrible they were to our so-called black brothers. Imagine how it was before technology existed. And that's what I want everybody to understand. It's like, if there wasn't written accounts, you will never understand how brutal a certain group of people were to a peaceful nation. You know what I'm saying? And just like our so-called black brothers, you know what I'm saying, and sisters, they've been through hell, they've been through a lot. But I never want nobody to forget what us Hispanics and Native Americans have went to also. With that being said, I got them a video right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to play the video. The weather ain't too great, but I definitely want to play the video. But before I get into that, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up a couple scriptures, because everything aligns with the Bible. Because of our disobedience as blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we have been generationally cursed because we can't do the right thing. It's like it's against our nature to just do what the Most High God says. And even if we break one law or statute or commandment and stuff, it affects not only you, it affects your household, it affects everybody else around you. Where Salaki, have you ever heard the term where one person could burn everything else around them? That's kind of like what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if one person does something wrong, it affects everybody else around them. So that's what we got to start doing, in a way where we knew the Catholic and Christian churches had, kind of like manipulated the scriptures and stuff and told us that it's okay to do whatever we want to, however we want to. We have to come back to a method of morality to where we know exactly how to conduct ourselves as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. And when that happens, not only will we know how to conduct ourselves in our own household, but we'll know how to conduct ourselves amongst everybody around us. And everybody else around us will start understanding, like, wow, he's very intelligent. He knows how to uphold himself real well. And then they're gonna be like, where'd you get this knowledge from? The same Bible that's been sitting on your bookshelf forever. And that right there is a key piece in how we should be living. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just show how the scriptures talk to us and how we just don't want to retain the information that it comes to us. We rather get that information and still do whatever we want to do. And we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to gather all that information and do right. So with that, let me see. I'm gonna go to Amos. I'm gonna go to Amos 3:1. If you have your Bibles, Definitely follow along. Just like I tell you guys every week. Definitely get your regular King James Bible. And also get yourself your Apocrypha. Slaki. Let's get yourself your Apocrypha. And also, if you could, also go on Amazon or your local bookstore and get your Slaki. This computer's crazy. Well, this is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. So definitely get yourself one of the Zondervan Bible dictionaries. So I'm gonna go to Amos 3:1. All right. Amos 3:1. Give me 1 second. If y'all can follow along. And this is what it really is. It's like, we all know about the so-called slavery of the blacks and stuff, and we really feel for them. But also, as the so-called black community, they also got to feel for the Hispanic brothers and sisters, because a lot of times they'll be like, oh, we've been through this, and they kind of discredit what Hispanics been through, and vice versa. Hispanics also do that to the so-called blacks. So we got to stop doing those type of egregious things towards one another. We got to start, understanding each other's position, premise, and what each other been through. When we start doing that, we can move forward in a better way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the screen. Give me 1 second. All right, boom, present. And that's the main thing. We don't want to discount anybody. If it's so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native, we want to know each other's history. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to discredit anything, because we both, all three of us, so-called Blacks, so-called Natives, so-called Hispanics, all been through these same type of oppressions, and they're you know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. All right. It's a real bad weather around here, so that's gonna affect the screen a little bit. I apologize about that. I'm gonna get Amos 3:1 right here. Hopefully it comes up. Weather's horrible. And yeah, we don't want to discredit no history. That's what we don't want to do. We don't discredit no history. History is history. We definitely want to know it. We want to learn it. We want to go ahead and be able to resonate with what our brothers and sisters been through in their own way. If we see the so-called blacks go through this way, man, I feel for you, because this is what happened to us. And then vice versa, they supposed to feel for us. That's what we got to start doing. Start understanding where the similarities are, and how close we are to things that happen to us. So this is Amos 3:1. This is what the Lord said about the children of Israel. Hear this word the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, verse 2. You only. That means that the Lord had dealt with from Genesis to Revelations, no matter what. Still today, this is where we're at, and this is something that doesn't change in him. He's not going to go ahead and change his favor towards a particular group of people. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. For every type of transgression that we made in ancient times till today, we obtained the punishments, because he held us to a higher standard. And when he held us to a higher standard, we were supposed to do right by him. You know how we as parents want our kids to do right by us? We have to show them right. So the Lord gave us a game plan. And he was like, okay, Moses, give them all this and tell them exactly what to do and how to do it. And let them accomplish these things throughout their generations. Guess what we did? We did the exact opposite. Whether it be in ancient biblical times till today, we still don't know how to do the right thing. The information is right in front of us, and we don't retain nothing because we could read it, and then as soon as not us in the truth in the Isupk, but Christian and Catholic brothers and sisters out there, they'll retain that message or that information for a moment, and then once they leave out of that congregation, they're gonna forget everything that was even spoken about. Because why? Now they got to go ahead and now they want to go ahead and go sell drugs. Now they want to go ahead and do drugs. Now they want to go ahead and do all type of adulterous activity. You know what I'm saying? Women want to go ahead and wear what they want to. You got girls that are just disobedient because they have no leadership in the household as of in the form of a woman. If you look at even what there is now, you got celebrities who the more these young girls want to be just like them. You know what I'm saying? It's like ladies have to hold so-called Black and Hispanic and Native women. You have to hold these women accountable. You can't allow, even if you get pressed for your ideas on it, like say something. Say something. If you see something, say something. Same thing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you see you don't have to address it in a way where you're being malicious, but you could bring that woman to the side and be like, why is you doing that? Hey, Junior, go back home, man. We don't need you outside right here. We don't want nothing bad to happen to you. When do we take accountability for the people around us so they can do right? But also, when we do that, the people who we're trying to extend this good information to, you have to accept it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go ahead and be like, whatever. I'm gonna live my life the way I want to. I'm gonna raise my kids the way I want to, and that's why we got a whole bunch of misfits out here right now, and all they want to do is hurt us, unalive us, lock us in jails, deport us, because we don't know how to conduct ourselves, and it starts with the parents. The parents are the ones who's supposed to tell these kids, you are being real stupid right now. Get your stuff together immediately. Not with the transgressed or we what's going on with this? That's why every time we transgressed or every time we went against the Most High, he basically disciplined us. So all these captivities and everything that happened to us and these punishments and all the enslaveries we've been through and from Egypt to Babylon to Assyria to the Greeks to the Romans to the United States, all that stuff was on us. We can't blame nobody else for our faults but us. When are we going to take self-accountability that, damn, you know what I'm saying, we must really be messing up? I still want to live the way I want to. Well, you can't. You can't live the way you want to. You can't be doing drugs. You can't be shaving your face bald. You can't be cutting your hair bald. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You can't be smoking squares. Some people be smoking squares right out of church. Some people be rolling blunts right out of church. Some people go sell drugs right out of church. Some people will do the drugs right in church. But this is what I'm trying to say. For all of our transgressions towards the Most High, it affects us more because he only deals with us. He don't deal with anybody else. Anybody else can eat. It's just, hopefully everybody can hear me still. All right, I'm hoping. Let me go ahead and stop this screen. I'm hoping everybody could just bear with me right now with this, But that's why I say, the Lord is only dealing with us, and that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? He has a commitment just to us, and we really have to tread lightly when we're dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? You can be your own person, but do what he says first. You know what I'm saying? If he's saying to do stuff, move in them ways. I can still be the same type of person I am without all the wickedness. I can still be the same aggressive person. I can still be the same masculine person I want to be, but I don't have to be a wicked person on top of it. And that goes with any other Black, Hispanic, male, woman, and children, who are watching these classes and they're learning also. So moving forward, historically, we got to understand that we went into all these captivities because of our disobedience and our hard-headedness, and we have to stop moving forward. So what we got to do is we have to learn what not to do and do the right thing moving forward. Let me see if I get this video up. And that's big right there. You know what I'm saying? That's big because how you say like the Lord is really dealing with us and bearing with us at this moment and stuff, and we gotta stop shaming him and doing. Give me 1 second. Trying to find this. The video of quiz, saying us Caribbeans, us North American, South America, and the Caribbean were in slavery first in the late 1400s to early 1500s. And I'm hoping this video plays because I want you to exactly hear exactly how they talk about the Tainos in their own way. You know what I'm saying? And you got to differentiate how they're trying to just shame us and how they're actually trying to talk in a way where we got to dig behind the words that they talking about. So I'm gonna play this. Come on, present screen, goddamn. I'm hoping it plays. Give me of seducing you with the words he says and how they say it and stuff. So you got to really dig deep behind the words that they say. Be real creative with not being seduced by what they talking about. All right. So it's not long either. Hope everybody can hear. Hold on 1 second. Please. And the thing is, I like videos.
Have there been? How many souls have perished in the Indies over the years, and whole sins have been committed?
God damn.
Bartolomé de las Casas.
In December of 1492, 3 ships under the command of Christopher Columbus Hispaniola. The island was then populated by people known as the Taino. One region was controlled by the paramount chief, Wakanagari. On Christmas Eve, coasting along the shore, Columbus's flagship, the Santa Maria, ran aground.
He learned with many large canoes to unload everything from the ship. So great was the care and building was in guarding what was taken to land in order that everything would be well cared for.
Manner that it is a pleasure to see. Neither better people nor land can there be. The houses and the villages are so pretty. They love their neighbors as themselves. And they have the sweetest speech in the world.
As a token of gratitude for the rescue of his men and supplies, with a red cape, a prestigious item among the Taino elite.
All right, Salaki, I'm over here trying to play this video and it's really horrible. I was trying to get through it. I guess I got to get either a better connection or something like that, but it was real horrible. So what basically happened is when Christopher Columbus got to Puerto Rico, which was called Borican at that time, or Hispaniola as they want to call it. What happened was that he went there and he saw that the people were very beautiful to look upon, that they were nice to each other, they were good to each other, and that how you say, like, he can easily go ahead and manipulate them over time. So that's what his first engagement was when it came to them. He wanted to make sure that he could easily conquer them, because while they had swords and armor and all these advanced weaponry, what's going to happen is, eventually they're going to turn on the natives of the land. The Boricans, the Tainos, they were gonna turn on them. They were gonna basically mutilate them. They already had an idea that they were gonna overtake this particular area, And what happened was, before Christopher Columbus left, you know, the chief there, the cacique, basically gave Christopher Columbus a gift. And when he gave him a gift, it was a gift of gold. When he gave him a gift of gold, that's when he said, he looked at that crown that he was given, and he's like, oh, he's giving me authority over everybody on this land. So what happened was, you know, once they gave him that crown, he was also thinking like, man, maybe I could go ahead and get some more gold out of these people right here, because this is exactly what he came for. Remember, Queen Isabella gave him the okay to come west to find whatever riches to bring back to Spain. So when he got that crown, he went back to Spain, and when he went back to Spain, he showed the queen like, look, you know what I'm saying, they got gold over there. They gave me this crown, and they're very peaceful. They're so peaceful that they'll be easy slaves. So while that was going down and stuff, you know, she was like, okay, cool. If they got gold over there, what do you guys need? And what do you need? And she gave them a whole bunch of ships, a whole bunch of people, hundreds of people. I'm not gonna say it was like thousands of people, but it was hundreds of people. And they went and they touched down on the land and stuff. And basically when they got there, they seen that the natives from the land easily killed the 30 men that they had left behind. But it was without, there's a thing, we don't do something without something going on. And what happened was, they were being real brutal to the men. They were being real horrible to the women. You know, they were trying to sexually assault them and a whole bunch of things and stuff. And that on that particular land, you know, we don't go for that. You're not going to come over here as a guest and act like you could just do whatever you want to, however you want to. So, you know, they had to unalive them. So when Christopher Columbus came back, he noticed that his people was unalive, and all of a sudden, that's when all hell broke loose, and that's when, you know, he started, you know, being real aggressive towards the natives of the land, and that's when they took over, because they had everything on the ship to everything that they brought on the ship was enough to start their type of civilization in that area for that time, you know. And with that being said, basically, you know, Chris Columbus started putting people to work in slave mines to find gold. He had people in sugarcane fields. He had them in the coffee bean fields. He had them everywhere he wanted to put them, so that way they can obtain more to they could go ahead and send back to Spaniards, including he took some slaves and he took them back with them, so that way they could be as royal servants and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So understand that there was nothing ever good coming out of Christopher Columbus when he had set sail for Hispaniola or Borican at that time. So what we want to go ahead and explain to everybody is, you know, the white man always comes out of nowhere and desecrates everything and everybody around him. If it's not to his personal gain, he's gonna go ahead and raise all type of hell. You know what I'm saying? Like with the natives of the land, whether it be the North American natives, South American natives, or the Caribbean, we were so pleasant to be around because we were just easygoing. We know how to deal with each other. They even said in the video, I couldn't play it. I wish I could have played it, but they even said that we had canoes and we could easily you know, transport goods to one another through little how you say, like bodies of water. So if we had to deal with another particular group over here, we'll go ahead and deal with them. But we knew we had a mutual respect that we may have tribal wars, but we never went ahead and extinguished people and enslaved them. You know, that's the whole thing about us. We never did all that stuff. And I apologize about the video. It wouldn't play. I wish it would have, because it was a real good video. The name of the video, if you guys want to watch it on your own, is it's on YouTube. It's called The Taino and Columbus. And I could see if I could play it again, but I doubt it. But with that being said, this is what I want to go into. The reason, the reason we were um the reason why we were enslaved over there in Borican or Hispaniola, as Chris Columbus want to call it, is because no matter how good of a lifestyle we were living over there, we were still doing things that even the smallest thing, we were still doing things that were against the Lord and how he deemed fit or how we should have been acting or treating one another. And we don't know exactly what the sinful nature of it was at that time because we wasn't there. But what we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and understand that, the Lord will put a mighty hand on somebody if he needs to. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the Deuteronomy 28:1. I wish I could have showed y'all the videos, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't. It was horrible. It was messing up the stream and all that. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't stream too good. And it really affects the class because I really want to do, good in these videos, but unless I have a good feed, I can't do nothing about it. So this is what happens. So this is Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna go ahead and share it. All right, Deuteronomy 28. I guess it's too much to clutter in that it messes everything up. So this is Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently. That means if you shall listen, if you shall do the things that I tell you. This is coming from the Most High God to Moses, and he was supposed to give these to the Israelites who was waiting for this information. He was supposed to give it to the Israelites, and they were supposed to keep these for generations to come, from then until today, and so on. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So what this scripture right here is basically saying is if you do everything that I ask you to do, I'm going to make sure that you're a superior government of people, which were the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, that you will be above everybody else on the face of the earth, above everybody else, because you are going to have the right understanding of what to do and what not to do, how to treat somebody and how not to treat somebody. And that is what the Lord, was trying to instill in us from a early settlement with through Moses. All right, so that's what we would have been, high above all the nations on the earth. Now we're gonna go to 28:15. All right. Then you go to 28:15. And this is what will happen if we didn't abide by everything that the Lord was telling us. But it shall come to pass, if all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So what happened was, even though we were over here in Hispaniola or Borican, as we call it, or North America, South America, and the Caribbean, even though we were living amongst each other and we were thinking we were doing everything the right way, maybe we started doing things different. Maybe we started serving other gods. Maybe we started smoking tobacco or something like that. Maybe we started doing something that was unworthy of the Lord to deal with us in a righteous way. And this is historical, because this stuff just don't happen to anybody. This only happens to a particular group of people who are really decent. And that's where we think all the time, like, why did this happen to us? Why are we at the bottom? All the stuff that's going on up in Palestine and stuff. Yeah, we get it. Everything's horrible over there. But you guys got your own government. You guys got your own military. You got your own territory. You know what I'm saying? How you guys dealt with it in your own matter is amongst you and whoever else you deal with. And that's an Arab nation. So they got plenty of Arab buddies who they could have dealt with. Now, when it comes to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we don't have nobody. We don't have nobody to turn to. We don't have no government. We don't have no military. We have nothing. So we have to build everything back from the ground up. And it's horrible because, you know, we rather trust in the so-called oppressors military, like they're going to do something for us. We trust in the so-called oppressors government and their police departments and stuff. And every time we put trust into them, it always backfires on us. And that's what we got to stop doing, because every time we put trust into another nation, they show us exactly why we should be in the position that we're in at this moment. And just like I said earlier, I wanted to play a video. I apologize that it didn't play well. You know, I mean, I wish I could figure out exactly what I could do to get these videos to play well, so that way, you know, everybody can get the full extent of what we're trying to teach you. Because that historical video would have been excellent to have on here. All right, so now what I want to say was, with us being disobedient, just like in this Deuteronomy 28:15, if we were not listening and doing everything that the Lord said, things were going to happen to us. And what happened to us are horrific things. They were all how you say, like they were all judgments from the Lord. He knew that these things was going to happen to us. That's what happened. He said, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that these other nations get high above you, and they put you to shame, and they belittle you and they harm you. That's what these other nations had did. And you know, just like I said, I try to put the video up so that we can watch a historical video before I get into these scriptures. It didn't work for me. That's on me. I got to go ahead and figure out how I can go ahead and get a better solution for the video, so we can have a good class with footage. All right, so now I'm gonna go to 28 and I'll go to 28 and 16. I'm gonna go to the next one. All right. Curse shall this is one of the curses that the Lord had put on us. The United States, or wherever you see so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we are the most, how you say, like, we're the most destroyed people in that area. No matter where you go, anywhere in the United States, anywhere overseas, if you go to the Caribbean, you see how we're living and stuff, and it's horrible. But then when you see in certain fancy areas, you see that there's Arabs, there's white people that come and visit, and they're spending their money over there, and they're living lavishly, while everybody who is actually from that area is basically living in horrible conditions. So, cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. The field is basically where you work. No matter how much we work, no matter how much we try to do, we never can catch up. Even when we do try to catch up and we get a little something, it always goes somewhere else. Look at even P. Diddy. Look at, he's got all that money. He didn't do the right things. He was a Christian and all that stuff, doing all the wrong stuff. And look at him now. Can't enjoy anything that he earned, whether he earned it the worst way or the right way. But he can't enjoy it because the Lord judged him. So even him in the field, in his work area, because he wasn't doing the right thing, he got judged too. That's how this happens. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's with every particular person who's so-called black, Hispanic, or native. If you ain't doing the right thing, something will come out of nowhere and affect you. All right, so we're gonna go to 19. We're gonna go to 19. And like I said, I can't say it more and more, but I apologize about the video earlier. I really wanted the video to play. There's another curse that we had to have gotten when we was in when Christopher. If I would have been able to show that video, this is another curse that happened to us. That happened to the so-called Hispanics and curse shall that be Hispanics and blacks when they were in slavery and stuff. When they were born into slavery at a young age. They had to go ahead and pick cotton, coffee beans, sugar canes. They will have a job at 4 or 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? And that's as that. Who does that to a person? Who does that to a nation of people? Curse shall thou be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goest out. You're even cursed when you're about to die. Even when you're about to give up your spirit and stuff, you're still trembling. You still don't feel good about yourself. You know that everything in your life was you know you could have did something better. So curse shall thou be when thou comest in. That's when you're a baby, when you comest in the world, and you're just in captivity. You're basically living a lifestyle that you wish wasn't as detriment as you were living. And cursed shall that be when thou goest out. When you're about to be when you're about to die and all that stuff, or get unalive and stuff, saying you still not feeling good about how you lived your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like you really wanted to live a good life and stuff, and it still wasn't enough. So when you're born and when you die, you're still gonna be cursed. That's something that happened to all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to 20 and 25. All right. And that's horrible because even when you're a kid, you know what I'm saying, you can't catch a break. And then even if you look at slavery and stuff, you see all the old, when they were in slavery, they'll be feet burning, back beat, and nobody has sympathy on them. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. And there's another curse that we had obtained. And as like I said, I wish I would have been able to play the video for you guys, but my connection was horrible. The oppressors this is what the Lord allowed the oppressor to do because of our disobedience. There's another curse that happened to us. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. That's what happened when we were over there and we were trying to do the right thing, or we're trying to stick up for one another, or they were trying to ravish our women or our children and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We would be smitten in front of them. Sometimes we were beaten and unalive because, just for fun. They used to feed us to dogs. They used to do a whole bunch of things that were just inhumane, and a lot of people just don't understand it. I mean, I got some pictures on it too, but I don't know what's wrong with my connection right now. I don't know if it's just because of the rain or something like that. It gives me bad connection, but I wish I could show you some pictures. I got pictures where, in the Caribbean, where the oppressors are basically holding two babies, and two dogs, one on each side, are just eating the babies from the head all the way to their bodies and stuff. And you think about it, like, what type of people do this to another group of people? And that's where we come to a conflict, because, as much as you want to say, as much as you want to say that we're mean and we say hurtful things towards our oppressors or these other nations and stuff, they were horrible to us first. And just because we're speaking out on it doesn't mean that, we want anything bad to happen to them. No, we trying to just fix us first. And that's what we're really trying to do, trying to fix ourselves first. The Lord's going to deal with them. Let's fix ourselves. So Deuteronomy 20 and 25, this curse, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. That means even when we were trying to go against them in the rightful way, just to get gain some type of ground or try to go ahead and give them some pushback, their aggression and their weaponry was so advanced, more than us, that even when we went towards them and stuff, we seen that we couldn't win, and we had to scatter backwards and flee 7 different ways to go ahead and make sure that we were alive for another day. And that's why I was trying to show you on that Christopher Columbus footage. And I didn't get a chance to because the footage was just horrible. My connection is just horrible. I got to figure out exactly what I got to do to get it better, but I will in the future. So and shall be removed in all the kingdoms of the earth. That's, man, I'm telling you, by us being disobedient, the Lord didn't deal with us in a way where he would have. He let all these other nations, he let them overthrow us, beat us down into the ground as a learning lesson. You know what I'm saying? That's what these other nations are. It's like a whooping stick, so that way you can figure out what you're doing wrong. So that way, moving forward, your generation can do better. But right now we think that, you know what I'm saying, the Lord ain't with us, this and that. He's still with us. We're just not doing the right things. So let's go to 28 and 36 and 37. And that's the main thing. We can never think that the Lord ain't with us, because if we're still getting punished the way he's punishing us, he's definitely with us, because he loves us so much that I gotta go ahead and make sure that you get yourself in order, because if you're not doing the right thing, you need to get it right for your future generations. So I gotta whoop you immediately so you can get right, so that way your future generation don't gotta go through that stuff. Unto a nation with other gods, wood and stone, them Spaniards and stuff to the Caribbean and all that. What he did was he also brought Catholicism with him, and what they said was basically, I don't care if you're the cacique, basically the head person of the tribe, you have to accept this Catholicism, this Christianity, or you're gonna be unalive. We didn't serve the guys the way they did. You know what I'm saying? We knew they were doing something off. Maybe at that time we weren't doing the right things, but we knew that their ways was wrong also. So with that being said, they came with that wooden cross and that Catholic doctrine and stuff, and a lot of people got unalive because they wouldn't take the oppressors' teachings. They knew it was wrong, so they would just rebel, and when they rebelled, they got unalive. And a lot of people who saw that, you know, they would take on to them teachings just so they could save their own life. And that's the wrong thing to do. You rather die with your honor rather than to submit to your oppressors and their ways, because once you go ahead and do that, now you have no type of self-integrity. You gonna lost everything about yourself. Now you're going ahead and you're assimilating yourself to their ways and how they want you to walk, talk, act, treat each other. And, you know, we got to stop doing that. We got to stop thinking that, you know, these oppressors have our good intentions when they really don't. The book is right in front of you. All you got to do is go in it, read, and if you don't understand something, you get in touch with somebody inside of school. Once you get in touch with somebody inside of school, we can break it down for you. But when they came with these other gods of wood and stone, the wood means that Christian cross, that Catholic cross that they came with. You know what I'm saying? That's something that our ancestors never knew, because we didn't idolize no crosses. We knew that idol worshiping was not in our nature. How you say stone? That will be more for you know how our so-called black brothers and sisters, when they went into the sub-Saharan slave trade, well, they went towards the Arabs, and when they went toward the Arabs, that's when they started being assimilated into how you say Arab culture. And Arab culture is all about the Quran and that what is it what's that rock? Damn, it's a cobblestone. Slock it, a cobblestone. That's what they worship over there. You know what I'm saying? Allah over there in the Arabs, they got their own god, and they kiss a cobblestone. They round it 7 times, and they kiss it. So it was two different captivities that so-called blacks and Hispanics, tend to go for. It's that Christianity, Catholicism, and then they got that Islam. And both of them are both wrong because they're both different types of idol worshiping. One is a whole different culture and narrative, which is not biblical, which I don't know why they go there, because that's a whole Arabic culture. And then, Christianity and Catholicism, they got the right book, but you can't have an oppressor teach you and think they're going to teach you properly. It's everything that they're going to teach you is towards their advantage and how they can manipulate you into, upholding their society. Okay, moving forward. When they had came to the Caribbean, to North Central South America and the Caribbean, the Lord knew that they were going to do that. So I'm gonna go right here to I'm gonna get out of the curses. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Obadiah 1 and 10. Obadiah 1 and 10. Hopefully y'all follow along. So like I said earlier, I tried to play a video and it didn't work out too good for me. That was on me. All right. Obadiah only has one book in it, and it's all about Esau. Esau is a so-called white man. And I could actually scroll up. Let me see if it's on the screen. I could have played that video. That shit was horrible. All right. So Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom, the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. He's talking about Israel being greatly despised amongst the oppressors. Particularly, this group is Esau, which is the Edomites, which is the current modern day Caucasians or white men, whether they be your Russians, your Greeks, your Ukrainians, your Spaniards, the XYZ. You know what I'm saying? Anybody of European descent, which is full that bloodline of a white man. So, verse 3: the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. So Esau used to hide in the clefts of the rocks in Georgia, Russia, right? And when he was in those mountains, they used to do all type of abominable things. They didn't have no type of particular mindset of what was right and what was wrong. They just lived in those clefts of the rocks and live life however they felt like they wanted to. But that's fine because their lifestyle wasn't of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? He basically told, Esau, you could do whatever you want to. He didn't want nothing to do with him. How you say, like, and I could go to, in fact, let's go to, before I get back into this, I'm going to go to Romans 9 and 13. I'm going to tell you what the Lord said about Esau. Since everybody, thinks like we're being mean with Esau, why can't you be nice to the white man? I'm going to tell you why we can't be nice to the white man. Because bastard was evil, you know what I'm saying? I think it's 12 or 13. Let me get right here real quick. All right. So let me go ahead and start. All right. Let me see. Man, I'll just start from man. This whole chapter is good. I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me will sorrow in my heart. Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren. He didn't say for everybody. He said who are Israelites, basically. That's just the 12 tribes, so-called blacks, Hispanics, natives, who are Israelites today. To whom pertaineth the adoption, the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of all these things from the Lord. And we had to uphold it. We had to basically cherish it, which we didn't from biblical times till today and to the future. You know, a lot of our brothers and sisters didn't cherish it the way they were supposed to. That's why when you tell somebody, oh man, you're not supposed to eat pork, I'm going to do whatever I want to. All right, that's against the Lord. Oh, the law is done away with. Like, they so misled by that Christian pastor or that Catholic priest and stuff that they don't even know what was right and wrong because they trust that person so much. But the Lord told you to do something, you just got to do it. Simple as that. It's not even a big deal. Verse 5, whose are the fathers and of whom are concerned the flesh Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen. All right. All right, let's see. Verse 6, not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Verse 7, neither because they are seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Still talking about the Israelites from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For this is the word of promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son, right? Sarah was Abraham's, everybody knows Sarah was Abraham's wife. And not only this, but when Rebecca was Isaac's wife. And not only this, but when Rebecca also conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, verse 11, for the children being not yet born, so these kids were not even born yet, you know what I'm saying? From Rebecca and Isaac, these kids weren't even born yet, but this is what the Lord has said, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that called it. Basically, what the Lord says, it is. So if he says this person is supposed to be the one in charge, hey, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take it how it is. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is speaking. He say who's in charge, deal with it. You don't have to like it. You just gotta honor it. It was said unto her. It was said unto Rebecca. That's who the her there was, because an angel came to Rebecca talking to her. You know what I'm saying? And it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. The angel that was sent from the Lord went to Rebecca and told her, the elder shall serve the younger. Moving forward, verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So that right there shows you there was twin brothers in Rebecca's womb, right? But they also said two nations. Two nations means two different nations of people going to be in her womb. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Remember, the elder shall serve the younger. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy on, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Now, this contradicts exactly what the Christian Catholic Church is always talking about. They were like, God is love, love, love all day long. Ooh, that still give me the creeps, man. Like, if you're talking about love all day and there ain't no consequences about what you do, I know there's something wrong. You have to identify what's in front of you. If somebody's telling you love, 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 but there's no type of boundaries that you can't pass, there's something wrong with that. And that's what the Christian church tells you. Everything's about love and stuff, and you can do whatever you want to, and God's still gonna love you. You can't go by that, because when you go by that, you are gonna be easily in harm's way for bad judgment. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself in harm's way. You don't want to put your family in harm's way. You don't want to put anybody else in harm's way. So you want to live righteous. You want everybody around you to do the righteous thing. And it's not hard to do. It's not like you're giving up an arm or a leg. You're just doing what the Lord asks you. If you require some of me, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? That's It's kind of like cutting the grass. Oh, you got to cut the grass. Oh yeah, it's getting too long. Oh yeah, I better cut the grass before I get a fine or something like that, a village fine or something like that. You know, how come you could live in this kingdom right now, in this society right now, and because there's laws already in place, you'll do what the laws of the land say, but you won't even consider doing what the Lord tells you to do. That's a horrible type of thinking, you know what I'm saying? And with this scripture right here, this is why we say Esau, is the devil of the Bible speaker, because he was supposed to be the person since biblical time. He was supposed to be the person who was going to be against the 12 tribes of Israel from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? The Lord hated him. It ain't that we gotta hate him. I don't gotta hate you as a Caucasian person or nothing like that. I don't gotta do that. I don't gotta hate you as an Arab. I don't gotta hate you as a Asian person. No, I'm gonna deal with you cool. I'm gonna deal with you how you come to me. But in the back of my mind, I already know how your culture people act and how they think and how they conduct themselves and how much your ancestors really hated my ancestors. So we are on two different sides of the fence. You were on the side of the fence where you guys were brutal, and I'm on the side of the fence where, what I'm saying, I have to accept the fact that my ancestors were uh basically horribly treated, tortured, enslaved, raped, robbed, murdered, and stuff. So I gotta accept that. But you are not gonna be around me and not understand that I know how to deal with you accordingly. I won't treat you bad. I won't even bring up historical things. But understand, I know your mentality because I know your bloodline. I know your culture. So I won't treat you how you treat your ancestors treated us. You cool with me? I cool with you. Cool. But I'm still for my own people first. Okay, so let me see where I leave off on. Compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even this purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So even as the so-called white man's civilization is thriving and stuff because of all the rape, rob, and murder they did. I wish I could have shown you that video so you could see the viciousness out of them Spaniards and stuff. But because of their viciousness, because of their horrible actions, the Lord is going to allow them to raise up. You know what I'm saying? He's going to let their empire raise up because they're going to get too cocky with it, just like Pharaoh did in Egypt. And what's going to happen is the Lord's going to smite them down. He's going to be the judgment on them. So all we got to do is play our part. And playing your part means learning what to do and what not to do. And if you don't know what it is, that's when you got to go ahead and get in touch with the Isupk, and that way we can go ahead and get you to understand these are things you want to stop doing. It don't even have to be immediately. Come into the school and just learn. You know what I'm saying? And you'll start shedding yourself of all those vices and those demonistic things that you deal with on a daily basis. Then when you start dealing with those things, now all of a sudden your insides start to feel better. You start feeling one with yourself. You start feeling really, really comfortable with how you are on an everyday, knowing that you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that works. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Lamentations 4 and no, in fact, I'm gonna go back to Obadiah. Damn, I don't want, man, I'm running out of time. I wish I would have played that video, but man, it was a horrible connection. Over 1 and 10. So this book of Obadiah is basically about Esau, the Edomites, which is the so-called white man of today. And all right, so boom. All right, so we're good. All right, so this whole chapter shows how they're going to be destroyed and cut off, So I'm gonna start at how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen in country? They continuously steal. They're so gluttonous with wealth that they just want everything, no matter what it is. They want, if it's food, they want food. If they want gold, they want gold. They want silver, they want weapons, they want military, they want trucks, they want airplanes, they're so gluttonous with how you say, like with carnal things. And you know what I'm saying? That's what's getting them. You could go ahead and gas yourself up. You think you're doing something real amazing. You know what I'm saying? You even got a space program where you think you're gonna fight off these UFOs and stuff. You ain't gonna win that one. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I keep trying to wrap my head around. Like, you really think you're gonna battle a UFO? Sounds stupid. All right, keep going. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would thee not leave some grapes? No, they wouldn't leave no grapes, because they'll take every single grape, including the vines, because that's how they are. That's how these so-called oppressors are. They want everything. They don't want you to have nothing. If there's 10 grapes, you'll be lucky to get one grape, if not a half, or a half bitten one. That's how they think. And once you start understanding how an oppressor thinks, it don't surprise you. And when it doesn't surprise you, like, I knew it. I knew he was gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I knew it. I knew before he was gonna do it. Now all of a sudden you're up on game. You know, I grew up in the hood, so every time I knew script. Script means I knew when somebody was trying to play me for a fool. I knew when somebody was trying to put how you say, like I knew when somebody was trying to manipulate me in a way. That's what you want to do with your oppressors. You know what I'm saying? You want to know when you want to know them so well. You want to know their culture, so people, their DNA so well, that you knew they can't, even though you're hearing them, you know that they're full of crap. And when you know that, you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how to deal with them better. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Verse 7. All the men of the confederacy, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have decided thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. There's no understanding in him. You can't even grasp your head around how he thinks, because it's so polluted. An honest person could never think like a polluted person. That's just how it works. If I got to think a decent amount of thinking, I couldn't even understand the perverseness of him. Because sometimes we'll be looking at things they do and be like, man, I don't even understand it. What just happened? Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? That's how we got to think about them. Sometimes we see on these videos, on TikTok videos and stuff, they come out of nowhere and they're just whacking a brother, whether it be a black or Hispanic, they're just whacking them, right, with a stick. And then more of their Caucasian fellows in the police departments, they go there too, and they're whipping them too. And all of a sudden you got like 10 people just whooping on a black or Hispanic, and you're just like, I can't understand it. They're so perverse in their ways. Verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom? Even the ones like Donald Trump who think they know everything. You can't tell me nothing. He talks real, think he's cool. He never sucked up a punch in his life, you know what I'm saying? But he thinks he's tough, you know what I'm saying? Because he grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't have none of that stuff, I bet you his jaw would have been broke a few times. But since he got money, nobody touches him. Everybody's his lackey, his slave, his servant. But just like 8 says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men of Edom, and understanding of out the mount of Esau? So even the wise men and everybody who thinks they're wise amongst his people, you know what I'm saying? He's going to destroy them. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. This is a future prophecy. This is what's supposed to happen futuristic. Like, it hasn't even happened yet. We still got to go through the days of the revelation. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these things all haven't happened. Like, he deals with them in trinkets. The Lord deals with Esau in trinkets. Don't get it wrong, but in a way where he demolishes them one by one. But his work, his greatest work, is not have yet came yet. No, he still got to be able to slaughter all of them, and that's not coming from me. That's coming from these scriptures. And they got to be slaughtered because of all the horribleness and the confederateness they put against others. You can't expect to do something and not have to pay that bill. If you go get a meal, you know what I'm saying? There's a bill at the end. You're gonna have to pay that. Right now, they haven't paid the bill. Eventually, in time, they will have to pay, their portion. And verse 9, I'm gonna say it again. And thy mighty men, O Taman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone of the mount of Esau, everyone of the mount of Esau, everyone, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not me saying it. May be cut off by slaughter. The same way you slaughter people is the same way you're going to get slaughtered in return. That's why I wish I would have been able to show that video so that way you could see and visualize and hear exactly what I was trying to explain from the video to these scriptures, because it all lines up perfectly. And that video just didn't comply with me today. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know if it was the video. I don't know if it's my connection. I'm definitely going to try to get that fixed up, because I do like to play videos when I'm speaking, because it does help out with my presentation and my narrative. I apologize about that. And then before I go, this is the verse 10 that I was trying to get into. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Remember, Jacob and Esau came out the same womb, two different nations. Esau was supposed to, basically listen to Jacob and, basically be subservient to him, because Jacob was going to know Jacob was chosen by the Lord. So Esau was supposed to just, do the right thing, which the Lord already said he hated him and he knew that he wasn't going to do the right thing anyways. But if he ever had a chance, he would have tried to deal with his brother Jacob, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, which are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. But we never seen that camaraderie. We don't see that. We see contention all day. So verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's what was going to come to Esau in the future, because of his arrogant ways, his dominant ways, and the way he really didn't want to deal with anybody else. He wanted to suck up the earth dry. He wanted everything for himself, and he didn't want to go ahead and share the spoils with anybody. For his greediness on this earth, he's gonna have to pay. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and try to work on my connection stuff for the future. And if I can do videos, I'll just go ahead and try to explain everything in detail, just talking. But that was a video that I definitely would have liked everybody to see, because it would have helped out the whole conversation a lot better. Allow me to go ahead and try to fix these connections a little bit better for the future. With that, just remember, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we have been through hell and back with our captivities. We've been through hell and back with our oppressions. We've been through hell and back through all the horrific things that we have been through as a nation, as the 12 tribes of Israel, as blacks, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and we have been through so much that don't turn your backs on one another. That's what I'm just trying to say. Hispanics, don't go against the so-called blacks and how their slavery was, and so-called blacks, don't go against the Hispanics and how their slavery was, because we were both, all blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we were brutalized. And you know what I'm saying? The one thing we got to do is we got to keep the honor amongst each other, because there's a particular group of people, it don't matter if it's the Arabs, if it's the so-called white man, if it's the Chinese, all these other nations don't like us. And while they don't like us, is when we supposed to be coming together. And that's what the Lord requires of us, that we come together and we start doing the right things as a collective together. And, just like I said, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short right here. But definitely, if you are in the Illinois area, whether it be in Southern Illinois or in Chicago area, in Gary, Indiana, in Milwaukee, and we got almost 60 schools. Just go to isupk.com and go to where we have the schools and stuff, and try to find your school nearest you, so that way you can learn properly. It's a good thing to know you live a lifestyle very well organized and very in tune with what the Most High wants, and try to help your people moving forward. It takes us coming out of nowhere and learning and studying and reading and watching videos to obtain all this information, so that way we can help one another. And what I want to say is definitely get into class. Definitely have all the questions that you have. Like, write your questions down. If you got questions, write them down, and you can ask them in these chats right here. You can go to the comments. You can ask the question in the comments. And if I know the answer, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'll be like, look, I don't know the answer. Or if I'm not 100% sure about it, I'll go get the answer. And then the following week, I will go ahead and give you a very detailed answer that I was given properly. But with that, I'm Priest and Officer of 500 Zanyada with a Southern Illinois history class. I wish I would have provided you guys with a video today. It was only 15 minutes long, but the connection was horrible. Definitely, I'll figure out what's going on. But definitely tune in every week, Monday and Tuesday, to Isupk Southern Illinois. We have it on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 9, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. When I do my classes, I do a little bit earlier. I'll do it at 6 to about 7, or maybe 5:30 to about 7, because I go to slave at 8 p.m. So my times will be a little bit different than everybody else's, but definitely tune in, because this is where we got to go ahead and right our wrongs. And as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, we have to hold each other accountable. The men have to hold each other accountable. The women have to hold each other accountable. And together, as men, women of Black, Hispanic, and Native descent, we have to go ahead and hold each other accountable, so that way our kids could have a better upbringing. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and say shalom. Lord be with y'all. And I'll tune into me in a couple weeks. All right. All right. Shalom.